Yes, no. If you're watching this video, you're probably having urges with NoFap, and that's completely normal. I did for the last 100 days NoFap, and urges will come up. It's only how you handle them. And in this video, I will share the 5 things that helped me most when an urge came up. In the last 100 days, I did a NoFap challenge. And perhaps you've also seen my other video where I share the benefits that I had and what I've learned from doing NoFap. And when you do NoFap, you will also have urges. And I think this is completely normal. And I saw it especially right when I started with NoFap, and I had short periods in between where it became stronger. But what the beautiful thing is that an urge normally never lasts long. So maybe a couple of minutes till half an hour. But then it disappears again. And what I also saw is that over the time that I did NoFap, that it became less and less. And so there are a couple of things that I personally saw that really helped when I had an urge. And I will share 5 of them in this video. So the first thing that I did, and I would recommend you doing this, is asking yourself the honest question, is it worth it? And really honestly asking yourself that, like, is it worth it? Is, for instance, watching those couple of minutes porn worth against the feeling that you will have afterwards, that you will feel when you stop? And you can also look back in the past how you, for instance, felt after you watched porn. In my own experience, it normally never truly satisfied on the long term. And do you know what the beautiful thing is that when you have an urge and you overcome it, it will make you stronger. So actually you can also use these urges as a way to build up confidence and to get stronger. So every time that you ask yourself, for instance, this question and you say, no, I'm not gonna do it, you become stronger, and it will also get easier every time that you do it. And I think that asking yourself this question at that moment, and then also thinking for a moment why you started in first case with NoFap, can just take the urge away. Then the second thing, and I think this is an important one, is to not test yourself or try to bring yourself in temptation. Our mind is super strong and will already bring up all these reasons why it is good to do. And when we bring ourselves in temptation, for instance, by just watching for a moment porn, the mind is very strong and it's very hard to succeed then. So I would not even start with it. And what I do is that I try to handle the urge right in the moment when it comes. So when I feel the urge, I do something completely different. So I, for instance, do some push-ups or I go for a hike, but I just focus on something different. And that brings us also to the third thing, and that is to learn to refocus your mind. I think that it is a very powerful skill. And what you do is you focus in the moment that the urge comes on something different. And you can even on forehand already think what the best things are. So for instance, going for a walk or calling a friend, whatever it is, but that you refocus it, and throughout time it becomes easier and easier to do it very quickly. And you have complete control over your own body and where you are. So you don't have to put yourself in that situation that when the urge comes, that you have your laptop or your phone nearby, and that it's easy to, for instance, go and watch these videos. In my own experience, it's much smarter to just take the responsibility and, for instance, go for a walk or do something different. And if you know from yourself that it's gonna be hard when you have, for instance, your laptop close by, make sure that in these moments you do something different. Then the next thing is to have a very clear why you're doing NoFap. The clearer you get why you're doing it, the easier it will be to resist any urge. So for me, for instance, it was very clear. I wanted to see if the benefits that I read online were true. And my body could kick, it could scream, it could do anything. But I just said, okay, that's nice that you're doing that, but I'm gonna find out if these benefits are true. And if you're just saying, I do it out of fun, it's much easier to give in to an urge than when you have a very clear reason. So if you're, for instance, having an addiction, you could say, because I don't want to feel these nasty feelings anymore, or I want to see if the benefits are true. And what I would recommend then is writing to yourself a letter in the moment that you are very clear about your why, and even maybe with the things that why you didn't feel good or whatever reason you have to do it. Because the moment that the urge comes, these reasons will not be in your mind. And when you have that letter laying there, you can take it, you read it, and you see exactly why you do it. And you can also connect to the feelings that you had in the moment that you made that decision. And because of it, it's much easier to then switch your mind to saying, okay, no, I'm not doing it, refocusing the mind and doing something completely different. Then as last thing, I have a step-by-step plan what you can do when none of the other things has worked, you still have the urge and you no longer know what to do. You put on your shoes, you walk straight out of the door and you walk for around 5 till 10 minutes. Then you call someone you know. It can be a family member, it can be your parents, it can be a friend, it doesn't matter. And you have just a normal, neutral conversation. It doesn't have to go about NoFap or about your urge, just a neutral conversation. And then the urge should be gone. Because what you do with it is you refocus your mind, you do something completely different and take yourself out of the situation. And then you neutralize yourself by that neutral talk. If you do it, let me know. What I still find very important to say is that if you would ever give into an urge, try to not blame yourself for it afterwards. Blame gives so much pain inside of ourselves. Try to stay loving and kind to yourself and see it as a moment of growth and as a lesson for the future. Just analyze what happens. Just say to yourself, okay, it happened, but what can I learn for a future situation or when a similar situation in my life happens again? And then use it, if you want to continue with NoFap, for a similar situation in the future, instead of seeing it as failure. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you can use the tips. If you liked the video, please like it and write a comment. If you want to see future videos, subscribe to the channel. And I wish you an amazing day.